today's episode, we are discussing community and collaboration over competition. So I think that when I think about the real estate industry, or when I first got into the real estate industry, I had a little bit of culture shock. What I didn't realize was that anybody can get a license, and you have people from so many different backgrounds and so many different levels of professionalism in the industry.
Right.
And so that was a little bit of a culture shock for me, because I just kind of expected everybody to be at the same level of professionalism. Obviously, because I was so new to the business, and I didn't really understand that there was such personality in everybody's business.
Right.
So I think that in the beginning, and to this day, I did not understand other agents' hesitancy to collaborate, and their spirit of competitiveness, and not just at the agent level, but also at the broker level.
Yeah, they kind of put everyone against each other. Like this brokerage against that brokerage.
Like there's some big trade secret out there.
Yeah, and it's also, even as agents, we kind of compare ourselves and do that in the beginning instead of just collaborating with one another and worrying about our own business.
You and I met when we were at different brokers, and probably in the very beginning of our first transaction together, there was a little bit of that.
There was. And I remember after closing the deal with you, though, I expressed because my broker asked me how everything went, and I expressed that, it was really good. I really enjoyed working with you. And then they tried to recruit you.
He called me. He did.
And they didn't even tell me.
Yeah, that's
They were
true.
going to try to bring you in. And first of all, you would have been brought in by me.
Yep, that's true. That's very true. But the funny thing is, the same thing happened at RE/MAX, because my broker asked me about you, and so did my associate broker. And I remember that she kept this. Okay, so this is funny. I've never told you this before, but she kept saying to me, "I want to meet your girl, Shanice." And I was like, "No, she's all mine."
That's funny. Yeah.
I don't want you working with her, because, we were in the beginning stages of our professional relationship, and I knew we were going to end up being friends. Mm-hmm. So I kind of was a little protective of that in the beginning. Back off.
If I can't have her, no one else can.
That's right. So I do think that it was really interesting. You were with Century 21. I was with RE/MAX. And I think with a lot of traditional brokerages, that they really want to keep everything in-house because it's more profitable for the brokerage.
Right. As far as open houses, showings, for doing showings for other agents, all of that type of stuff.
And I didn't feel like that was how I wanted to practice my business, because I knew that if everything stayed in-house, eventually, it becomes stagnant and it dies.
Yeah. I don't know if I looked at it like that, but I looked at it as I like to be friends with everyone that's in this industry, whether they're in my brokerage or not. I wanted to be able to talk to whoever I wanted to and collaborate with them and go to lunch and everything like that, and not feel the pressure of, oh my gosh, they're not at my brokerage.
It's the enemy. So as a young professional, my philosophy was, I need to know my competitors. I need to be best friends with my competitors, because my duty is to the client. So if I can't provide a service, or I'm at capacity, I want to be able to refer them to someone that I trust to take care of them. Or let's just say that, that competitor has a specialty that I don't have.
Makes sense.
So I got a lot of, flack for that in my young professional career as well. But I've always operated like that. You can't have too many friends, and it's not like, I think that like attracts like. Mm-hmm. So I know that the people that I end up collaborating with are going to be like-minded.
Right. And I mean, 99% of our deals are co-broke, meaning that we're working with another agent at another brokerage. So why not know those agents and befriend them? And it doesn't mean you have to be best friends with them, but be comfortable with working with them. It makes it a more enjoyable experience for everyone.
You know, we have a colleague right now who is really struggling because he is in an area that is completely closed to outsiders. They won't let him do an open house. They won't let him promote their listing. They won't let him let him collaborate in any way. And I just think that's so sad, and so it's just so limiting.
Yeah, because for me as an agent, if another agent comes to me from another brokerage and is like, hey, can I promote your listing? As long as they give the proper credit, why wouldn't you want more eyes on your listing for
Absolutely.
your seller? And most of the time, or not most of the time, all the time, if they are going to run an ad, they're going to be the ones paying for it. That's, you don't even have to pay for that marketing because they're going to do it.
I have friends that are agents. I mean, you and I did this before we came to the same brokerage, but I still have friends, realtor friends at other brokerages, and you know, we get together and brainstorm. We get together and think of, you know, ways to promote our
Yeah.
business. And as long as it's not undermining my business, because, you know, as a business owner, you do have to, you don't want to undercut your own business.
Right.
But there are plenty of ways to collaborate without having that happen. We're getting ready to do an event next week that was brought to me by an agent that we do a lot of business with. And I thought, well, that's brilliant. Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt anybody.
No, not at all.
For the greater good.
Yeah. And a lot of my friends are realtors and they're all at different brokerages. And I travel a lot, so I like to meet agents in different cities. Like I was just in Clearwater and I met with an agent in Tampa, and she's at a boutique brokerage down there. But it's just so nice to be able to talk to other agents too that are in other markets. They help give me insight on my market sometimes and, what's going on out there. So I think that collaboration is extremely important in our career.
I, I agree. I also think, to your point, you know, you brought this up earlier, that collaboration equals coverage. And I had a
Yeah.
situation where this was an incredibly tough deal, and through no fault of me or the other agent, there was an issue between the seller and his neighbor.
I
And
remember this.
yeah, and it spilled over into the deal. And it created a really ugly situation for the seller. We ended up having to push the transaction back while the attorneys got involved. And so my buyer was very inconvenienced, so to speak, because, you know, she worked nights, she was a nurse, she had a small window of time that we could actually talk. It just became really cumbersome. But the beauty of what happened in that transaction was, and I am not recommending this for everybody, but in this particular case, because that agent and I worked so closely together, I could not be there for the walkthrough. I let her do it.
Yeah.
That's highly unusual,
Right.
but I trusted her because of the collaboration that occurred during that very difficult time.
Yeah. And we need that. And speaking to agents covering for you for walkthroughs or showings, we have that all the time. I mean, we can't always be everywhere. And, we do take vacations and we do have things with our family. And it's really nice to have other agents that are willing to help you whenever you can't be there.
I think that you and I have developed a really sweet little community of people who are willing to do exactly that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just so important in our business because we are alone a lot of the time. And just to be able to have people that you can fall back on and trust to be able to do things when you're not able to is a big deal.
I mean, you guys covered for me when we went to Hawaii. You know, I don't know, I had several deals going on at that time, or that I was in the middle of at that time, and I could never have gone to, you know, someplace like that where we were 6 hours behind if I didn't have that kind of backup. So thank you for that.
Of course. I think another thing that we should touch on is you want to be the agent that you want to work with. So you would want the other agents to want to collaborate with you and be, open and help you and whenever you need it. So do that for them. Because it's not always a monetary thing. I think nowadays people want money for every single thing they do. And I know we just started 2 years ago, and if someone asked me to do a showing, I just did it. I didn't ask. I didn't know you were supposed to even ask for money. I just did it because I wanted the experience and I just wanted to be able to help because I knew that if I needed them, I could ask them.
I love that. Be the agent you would want to work with. I think that is just something, it's a rule to work by. It's a rule to live by. Be the person that you would want to get to know. Be the mom that, you would want your daughter to be.
Right.
I think that's a great way to put it. I think it's a great approach, and I think it's something that, we should all strive for in every one of our transactions. And sometimes it's not possible. But those should be exceptions. That should never be the rule.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really appreciate about EXP in relation to this is that because we don't have franchises and we're one virtual cloud brokerage, we have access to so many top producers across the country that we can learn from and that we can collaborate with. And they're so willing to. They're so willing to open up their experience and expertise to all of us. And I do love that. When you have franchised brokerages, you're also competing with the next franchise and the next franchise under the same brand name. But we don't have that. It kind of, that's not in our way. That's not something that we have. That's not a hurdle that we have to get over.
Right.
It's completely eliminated.
Yeah. I feel like when I switched, my eyes just opened so much to how many agents there are out there that are willing to help and that we just have access to it. It's just so easy. It's not like we have to jump through hoops to collaborate with other agents in other states. It's just we're all a part of the same cloud-based brokerage, and then we have Workplace where we can be in so many different groups, and I just feel like honored and blessed that we have that with our brokerage.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we can go to Workplace and we can go to all of the places that we have available to us within EXP, but how do you connect with realtors outside of EXP?
Well, we know that's my favorite thing to do. I mentioned before that I travel a lot and meet agents in different cities. So I'm really big on social media. So if I vibe with an agent, like let's just say I find them and I follow them, I'll reach out to them and I'll, have conversations with them and try to meet up.
So tell the audience how you do that without being creepy.
Well, it's a vibe thing. And if I feel like we have the same vibe, because of course I'm watching their stories, I'm seeing, because stories, I feel like you really get to know someone and their personality. I was just like, hey girl, I love your page, or, I'm coming down to this place. Like the girl in Tampa, let's just start with her. I've been following her for about a year, but we've never talked. And then I just started commenting on her pictures, and not like weird commenting on her pictures, like I really actually like the stuff. And then I started commenting on her stories, and then we started having conversations. And then I was like, hey, I'm coming down to Clearwater in like 2 weeks. Would you be willing to get coffee and just chat? And she was like, yeah. And most people are willing to do that, especially realtors on Instagram. And that's just what I do. I mean, so I have friends all over the country, and I love it. And I get into Facebook groups, private Facebook groups, and comment on things. And, if I feel like there's an agent that I'll connect with, and you can kind of tell by the things they post and how they speak and things like that, then I'll just reach out to them. They don't think it's weird.
Very cool. Well, I don't think it's weird. I just, for the audience, I wanted them to understand like how that relationship started, how it transpires,
Yeah.
and you know,
Or have
how
people.
you nurture it and cultivate it, because the reality is that agent that you're talking to is also your client. I mean, if you think about it, you're my client, I'm your client.
Yeah.
We're all in that
Yeah.
world or in that space.
I don't know if I look at it like that. I'm more of like, just like, I like to say I'm like a friend collector. So I'm like
You
a
are a friend
realtor.
collector.
I'm a realtor collector. And it's also nice for referrals. If I get people on Instagram that are in their city, I have somebody that I can refer to. I know that like in a month, I'm going to Atlanta to mastermind with two agents that I met off Instagram. And, I just do that a lot. It's just because they just get it. Realtors, like that's why we're friends. Realtors just get what we're going through. And it's just nice to also have people that you can talk to in different markets and just say, I'm having a bad day. This is what's happening. Or I'm having a great day. And just having people that can encourage you.
Yeah, I think this is the first time in my career, my cumulative career, that I have felt so much a part of a community.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're right. It doesn't matter where you are. Whether you're talking about domestically or internationally, you're you're going through the same things, you're experiencing the same things, you can learn from each other, you can support each other, you can prop each other up. I agree with that.
I learned so much from other agents, whether it's marketing, whether it's this way to approach a client or to just do anything. And I love that because I'm constantly getting ideas, and nobody, pretty much, I would say about 95% of the people don't care if you copy what they do because
Right,
we're
if you
all,
repurpose it.
yeah, we're all doing the same thing.
And it's not like you're in their backyard most of the time.
No, we're in a completely different market. So that's why I enjoy learning from agents in other markets because, okay, now I can bring that to my market and do it here. So, yeah. I don't think I have anything else.
So I think it's safe to say that our approach to our business, your business, my business, and our business together is definitely collaboration. I don't think I've ever really felt a competitive spirit from you or
I mean,
toward
we are
you.
competitive, not against each other. It's competitive against ourselves in our
Yeah,
business.
I think that we have a competitive spirit, a healthy competitive spirit, because I mean, you can have an unhealthy competitive spirit. That's not what I'm talking about. And I
Right.
don't think that's what you're talking about. Yes, we both are competitive with ourselves, but the beauty of this collaboration is I could say to you, "Hey Shanice, how can I support you today? What are your goals?" We're getting ready to have an event for all of our realtors where we kind of get them all in the same space so that we can start talking about dreaming big and understanding what their goals are. And the purpose for that is twofold. One, we're going into fourth quarter and we're going to be teaching them to write their business development plan for 2022.
Right.
So we want them to be inspired and motivated. But also, I'm really excited to see what their goals are because I want to help support that.
Yeah, and I think also being in a room with other people discussing your goals, their goals and your goals, sometimes it gives you ideas of like, hey, maybe I wanted to do that, or maybe it makes you dream bigger. Because sometimes we're very reserved with the things that we want, and I know that I was. But sometimes being around other people that are dreaming big makes you say, hey, I can do this, or I can do that. If they're dreaming this big, then maybe I should dream a little bit bigger.
Anything is possible. I think we can live a life without limits.
Yeah.
I think I know. I think we can build a business without limits. I think that we can do anything we put our minds to. So I'm really looking forward to that event. I'm really looking forward to watching the inspiration come across that whole group of people and the brainstorming start to come to fruition. And yeah, so I think that it's safe to say that in our circle, and how we conduct ourselves and in the business that we are promoting, we are 100% about community and collaboration.
Yeah, that's how that's our way of doing things,
That
is
is-
collaborating with each other and everyone around us, and we're so willing to help and to bring whoever in
Yeah, that's
that
how
wants
we
to be
hustle.
a part of it. Yep.
That's how we hustle.
Yep.
All right. Well, until next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.